Knesset member Yitzchak Pindrus of the United Torah Judaism Party, Shalom.
Shalom.
So it's almost elections. First of all, tell us what you're doing. You're now being interviewed, but you're mainly out there on the field trying to bring in the votes.
First of all, wow, yeah, elections again. As usual it is.
As usual.
Something as usual. Yes, I'm out there trying to talk to people, trying to go out, meet people as much as we can. We do that from 8 o'clock in the morning until 2 o'clock midnight. Speaking to people also on WhatsApp, on Twitter. In any cases, I don't really know how to do it, but people are helping me to deal with it.
But one would think that it would be easier in the Haredi community because the rabbis tell you who to vote for, and there's not really so many options. But there is a challenge, and we're seeing that although the community is larger and really many, births in the Haredi community, demographically speaking, there are more and more Haredim. But in terms of the mandates, you're almost always stuck on 6, 7. Okay. Why does that happen?
So first of all, yes, I would take 85-90% of our voters are there. We just have to give them the push to just go out and vote, because they always have a small percentage that is inconvenient. He has business, he maybe has to fly out to another country to do some business or anything like that.
We have to make sure that
you don't just go out and vote, and that's the 85-90%. You always have 10% that feel less affiliated, like every group, okay? Less affiliated, less inside. Some things they don't agree with everything that is done. Like myself, I don't agree with everything that's done in the Haredi community. But I do think if I check other communities, I'm very satisfied with the community I'm a member. Even I think there's things that has to be fixed. And we're talking mostly I'm trying to talk mostly to these people. One. On the other hand, yes, the foreign audience, people that are from outside of Israel, and are regular to other democracies, don't really understand that over here there's a real battle on rights if Israel's going to be a Jewish state, okay? They're regular in other countries. That's not a real battle. Over here we're running for 75 years, a battle between a Jewish democratic state, okay? What takes more... in between Jewish and democratic, what takes more place? What takes more place? Or let's make a new thing, Israeli, which is already a third thing, okay? And that's really, people don't really feel it. So they feel we have our candidate, we have our person, we could call him in the middle of the night, that's our person. They don't really feel that, and that's a challenge to explain to those people, listen, we're talking about real problems over here and stuff over here that if there wouldn't be United Torah Judaism in the government for the last, in the political world, okay? We're not always in the government, in the coalition. But even when we're not in the coalition, we wouldn't be there. A lot of things would be natural, understood that's how it works.
Now, so another thing that maybe some from outside don't understand, even they might be from the Haredi community around the world, why does the Haredi party oppose secular studies in the institutions? It's mainly because what? Because the state defines what you need to learn. What is the problem basically with learning math, English? We know the Haredim around the world learn math and English.
It's a little more. We'll go in another level. The success, okay, with problems, but the success of the Haredi community in Israel from 48 until today was by one agreement that was made in the status quo. The status quo had 4 points. 3 of them are general, okay? Shabbat, Kashrut, Giur, V'Nisuin. These are 3 things that are not for the Haredi community, because all these 3 things the Haredi community is going to keep anyhow. Kashrut, Shabbat, and Nisuin, Giur,
conversion and weddings.
Okay, but
marriage.
That's one place. But let's say the fourth thing was the independent education, okay? We know as a fact, whoever didn't get into that system of independent education lost a lot of their children.
Educationally speaking, spiritually speaking.
Yeah, spiritually. They lost that. They're not continuing. The Haredi communities, mostly, the majority, we still have problems. We still have kids that in risk, kids that fall out of the system. But the majority is in there because it's independent, with all the prices we pay for it. All these games that the government is making is not to try to teach English or math. They're trying to do it for one thing, and I'll prove it to you. They're trying to do it because they want to take over in a certain way and get into that education, because they understand that that's the success of the Haredi community. So they're trying to pull in a leg into the Haredi education. Let's be involved over there. And that's when we say no. For an example, In that system, okay, there's a system that's called Mukar She'eino Rishmi, which means you have to learn math and English. The government is supposed to sponsor it 75%. You know how much the government sponsors it? 40.
Why?
Okay? If the government would sponsor that 75%, this question wouldn't be available. So the battle is not if to learn math and English. They're cheating everybody. The battle is if they run it, if the government runs it, if you want public schools over here, and ask any American, does he want a public school over here or a private school over here? Ask any person from a foreign country. And that's the real battle. And they're playing tricks, okay, but that's part of the game.
Now, in the political arena, there are many parties, especially Benny Gantz's party, they're saying if Netanyahu doesn't have a majority, the Haredim will go with us. What do you tell them?
Go with us to where? To what?
To a government which will be a unity government. For example, the last government, some say that the big mistake is that the Haredim weren't there. Shouldn't you have been in the past government?
You're saying the left wing say they wanted the Haredim inside. They offered us.
Don't you feel that you could have done much work and good work in this government?
No, and I'll tell you why. Again, if I'm talking about our budgets or our personal things, yeah, I agree 100%.
And you had offers.
We could do better business with the leftists. We could do not offers. We could do a lot better business with the leftists than with the right wing. Okay, for several reasons, a lot better. They offer a lot more money. They offer a lot more positions. They offer that. If we have any responsibility for what I said before, is this a Jewish state or a democratic state?
The Jewish identity of Israel.
Again, it has two identities, democratic and Jewish, okay? When that gets controversial, right? But that has any kind of issues. With the leftists, we're way, way behind them with the right wing. And because of our responsibility for Israel, okay, for the population in Israel, for the traditional population in Israel, which is most of the population, that's the reason there's no way, by definition, we could go into a government that is based is not the believers, okay? And the believers are in four parties, in the Likud, in the Tzionut HaDatit, and in Shas, and Yadut HaTorah. Those are the parties of the believers. And if we don't go there, we're in big trouble because any minister could do anything he wants in his office with things that he doesn't have to go through the Knesset. It has nothing to do with a coalition agreement. Okay, if you have Tamar Zandberg,
from Meretz,
but she's in the environment. Okay, well, what's wrong with being environment? You have a leftist in the environment. Maybe she'll do even a better job.
Yeah, that's what some people said about the government. We have a transportation ministry.
She doesn't let girls swim separately in the things that belong to Reshut Shemot HaTeva. Okay, a small example. Right? Or if you have in the education ministry and they take Tanakh out of the B'chinot Bagut, that's not a part of a coalition. They take the Tanakh out of the Bagut. That's not part of the coalition.
They changed the format. They changed the format. It's not going to be in the matriculation exams.
It's a political
but they changed the format.
It's a political correct way of putting it out. Okay? The question is, what are you doing? Are you having 2 million children in a Jewish state that don't know what Shema Yisrael is? We can't live with that. Could you have 2 million children not knowing what Shema Yisrael is?
You're saying that's what will happen if there will be a left-wing government?
That'll happen. It's happening when there is a left-wing government. Even people that don't really, we're not against, we love God, everything's okay, but 1, 2, 3.
Okay, Knesset member Yitzchak Pindrus of the United Torah Judaism Party, thank you very much.
It was a pleasure being here, as always.